What's going on, guys? Gomes here back again on another MLB The Show 19 Diamond Dynasty video. So today I want to do a little bit of a follow-up. Now we are about midway through the life cycle of MLB The Show 19, and I wanted to make most likely my last video on the creative players. Of course, I made one in the beginning of the year, and now I wanted to make another. And this is just going to be me talking about the best builds that you guys probably haven't tried. And now that we have gone about in the midway point, I think that you guys should give some of these builds a try. These are my 5 best builds that you guys must at least try out a little bit. But if you guys could leave a like down below on this video, really would appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. We do have the live stream coming out tonight revealing the July Player of the Month cards, so make sure and be ready for that video. I will have that uploaded tonight. And then yeah, also comment down below your favorite builds that you guys have been able to use for creative players. I've used a couple, and there definitely are some, best builds in the game, but I don't think there's a single bad build in the game, for the simple fact that unlike a 2K archetype, you can stat pad whatever other stats that you want through equipment, and then you can make him a switch hitter and have any batting stance that you want. So with that being said, let's get right into it. So one major thing about this is, now that we have so many really good cards in the game, it's not the same thing where you have to have your cap at catcher, you have to have it at second or short, predominantly thin positions within Diamond Dynasty, because we have so many really good cards, really good signature cards in the game. So the first one I want to talk about is actually in center field, which at the beginning of the year you probably did not have any desire or thought to put your creative player at center field, but this is actually a really good option. Specifically, I want to look at the balanced archetype right here. As we can see, this is pretty damn good. If you just look at the base stats, 89 overall, he's going to have 83 and 89 contact, 66, 61 power, 85 vision, which I think is something that is really important. I like usually builds to have a little bit more vision to start off. I think that's pretty important. 76 speed, 90 arm strength, and 80 fielding. So with this center field build, this balance is more like a fielding and contact. He's not going to have too much power off the jump, but what is kind of going to go for all these, and you guys will notice a trend for equipment, what is really easy to get is stuff like fielding and arm strength. As you guys can see, this gold glove right here has 8 fielding and 6 arm. It is really, really easy to get, at least in my opinion. There's another 3 arm that you get from this silver compression arm sleeve. Now, I don't think you necessarily need the diamond equipment. It really depends. If you have the stubs, I guess do it, but I think you're better off getting other really good players for your team instead of getting, a 10,000 stub piece of equipment. That's at least the way I see it. But center field, this build, and what I would recommend for this, I have my cap at 5'11" right now. I would say make him at least like 6'3", something like that, because even right now I would have plus 90 fielding, I would have diamond fielding, 99 maxed out arm, and I'd have about 90 speed as well. This would be insane. This would be like one of the best defensive cards that you have in the game, and he could also hit really well as well. If you have him like 6'2", 6'3", he is going to be Spider-Man jumping the wall, and he's going to be able to rob a lot of home runs and also really help you out with that arm strength. So I think that balanced in center field is a really good creative player that you guys should try. The next one I want to talk about is one that I did some grinding towards, and that is the contact based shortstop position right here. This one I like because it is pretty easy to max out the speed. I think right now I have plus 10 on my speed. Remember, contact, power, vision, discipline, and clutch all go plus 125, but all the other stats max out at 99. So it is pretty easy. Once again, my gold cleats that I'm currently running right now, I am able to get 10 speed just on those alone. And then if you have socks or other equipment likewise, it is pretty easy to get up there. So once again, this just looks really solid. And then the fielding as well, you can easily get it to gold. The 8 that I have on my glove alone is going to get it to 84. Everything is going to be good. This is going to be, if you like guys like the Omar Vizquel, Ozzie Smith, Jose Reyes, all switch hitting shortstops with good contact, good fielding, and good speed, this is really what you're going to look for. And then you can put whatever batting stance that you like on it. So I think this is a really, really good build, and probably the best shortstop in the game other than like Honus Wagner. But unless you have like 2-3 mil just sitting around and you have all the cards of the game, I really do recommend putting your cap at shortstop. I think that is a really good option. I wanted to highlight this one in right field. I don't necessarily think that you should do this, but if you want to strictly talk about the best bat that you're going to get, I believe it is right here, more so with the power focus. I think this is the best bat that you're gonna get. This is the highest starting power at 94%, even better than first base, and honestly it's not that bad. You know, 67 fielding, you can easily get that up into the 75 area with, you know, pretty not so expensive equipment. And if you do have some more expensive equipment, that can easily get a plus 13 to gold fielding, 80 plus, and you already start out with 69 nice vision, so that's not that bad. 76 contact per side. You know, right field is a pretty deep position. You know, there's quite a few guys that you can have out there in the corner outfield spots, but if you want a switch hitter with whatever batting stance you want with the best possible hitting stats that you're gonna get, this right field power focus 2 is going to be the card that you guys want to go out and get. I've considered this because, you know, even though there might be a lot of really good options out there, this, like I said, you cannot get a better bat out of this for the creative players. Even if you look at the first base, which, just want to say, never in a million years put your cap at first base because there are literally so many options. But if you look at this, 93 and 87 power, so he does have better contact, of course, but strictly looking at the power attribute, and contact is usually pretty easy to get within equipment as well. One thing I want to throw in quickly is always make sure, if you do have this bat, this is the one that you got from the 4th inning program, make sure to be using that one. It's the only bat in the game that actually gives you an additional 4 power. So all the other bats are 6 and 6. That one is 10 and 6 right there. So something to think about. This one I rocked for quite some time and I was a big fan of that. This is the balanced second base focus right here. Really good, really solid. Once again, base 65 speed, I easily can get that to like 75. Probably can get that into the 80 range as well. Fielding easily achieves that gold status, 80 plus. And then hitting wise, he is super good. 80 vision, 87, 81 contact, 88, 82 power. This is like the epitome of a balanced. He does everything really, really well. And you guys can see my stats with my cap. I did really well with him at the time that I used him. 222 at bats, 17 home runs, you know, over 1,000 OPS. This is a really good option if you don't have the Joe Morgan, and honestly, I'm running the Joe Morgan right now. I think my cap was better than the Joe Morgan for sure, but if you're not liking Roberto Alomar, you don't have the Joe Morgan, I think this is a great option to put your cap out at second base. And then finally, the last one that I really want to talk about is the catcher, and I think the best one for here is probably the contact focus. You know, I was between, and I am grinding towards this one currently, so I will be able to get the diamond pretty soon. I picked the contact more so over the power focus. Some people said the arm strength at 90 is pretty good, but like I said, arm strength is really easy to get, and you know, I can get this relatively easily to an 85 at an arm strength. And to be honest with you, the difference between 85 and 90, or even like 90 and 99, is not that big of a difference, you know, in the whole grand scheme of things in throwing out runners, at least not from what I've noticed. But this has 90 fielding, 90 blocking. You guys know my opinion on whether or not blocking matters. I don't think it really does, but he does have plus 20 fielding, and then he also starts out with an additional 10 speed, which is helpful for those pop-ups that go behind the plate and other things. Speed on catches is always a pretty good thing to have. You know, it's nice to have. Plus 20 contact per side, considerably less power, but he also does have a lot more vision to start out with. And this is something I've noticed. A lot of people like guys like Kenny Lofton, Ichiro, Jose Reyes, and I think those are really the move in this year's game. You guys know the batting stance I'm currently using. This is Nick Swisher's, and I think this is the best swing in the game, to be honest with you. The two-handed style too. You know, if you do have power power. You're still going to hit for power with it, but this is the kind of swing Jose Reyes has, that Kenny Lofton has, and it really is just good for getting base hits, and you know, that's what you really want. I think the great thing about caps is to be able to get on base and then use that speed that you could pretty easily acquire for most positions and then go out and run an open field. So I think that is really good. I also do quickly want to talk about pitcher. If you guys have the most stacked of all stacked teams and you have no use for any of those 5 cap builds that we just talked about, go ahead and finish out your pitcher. This was actually the first one that I finished, and you do get to pick a diamond closer and a diamond starting pitcher. For closers, I would say probably balanced focused is the best for this reason. If we're gonna look over here, he's gonna throw 98 miles per hour. If you choose the velocity, he's gonna throw maybe 1 mile per hour faster, which isn't a huge deal. He does have +3 hit 9, less K9, but he also does have better walk 9 as well, 86 compared to 79, and then the home runs per 9 is the same. But this card has a slider compared to the cutter. The cutter's not bad. I have you know, the cutter I don't mind this year, but I think the slider is definitely a more valuable pitch instead of having 2 fastballs and a changeup. And then look at that miles per hour differential. If you guys like somebody like Trevor Hoffman, because of such a slow changeup, god damn it, I can't make up the word, he's gonna be pretty similar to that, you know, 98 miles per hour fastball and then a 72 mile per hour changeup. So a huge differential. And then the starter, I would probably recommend the velocity. If you go anything else, he's gonna throw astronomically slow. You know, I'm talking a 91 mile per hour 4-seam fastball. This isn't, you know, super fast at 95 miles per hour, but it's sure a damn hell of a lot better than what you would have with a 91. I mean, that's, you know, that's just trying to have a Cliff Lee-esque pitcher. And if you guys have used the Shelfie Cliff Lee, you guys know how good that works out. Not too well, so I would really recommend that. And of course, if you are going to have him at pitcher, make sure to go out and get pitcher oriented equipment. For example, you always can find good rituals that have good pitching per 9s that you can have boosted. Gloves usually have some sort of pitching stats. Go out and find the ones that you want. For example, this one is +4 to K9 and +3 to hit 9. So that is what I'd recommend for a pitcher. And then those are 5 builds that I think that you guys should really try out if you are getting a little stalemate with the game. If you guys have some interests that you want to peak and, you know, try out some new caps, I think those 5 are really good options. Like I said, let me know down below in the comment section what are your favorite builds that you've gotten to use this year. I just listed a few. There's a hell of a lot more, so maybe you guys have the actual glitchiest build in the game. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like down below. Hope you guys are great today. And there goes some out of you.
Love is love and hate is hate. To die is an awesome adventure and I can hardly wait. Earth is a prison, I need a great escape. You know I'm in my zone when I'm up in outer space. You know I'm in my zone when I'm up in outer space. You know I'm in my zone when I'm up in outer space. You know I'm in my zone. You know I'm in my zone. I took a bite of the glory.